Okay, so this is a new experiment that I'm doing. This is the first of what's hopefully going to be a series of videos called Shoulder to Shoulder, being shoulder to shoulder and cheek to cheek with some of my favorite herbalists and introducing you to them and talking to them and kind of having a forum for discussing some of the, look at my filthy, dirty hands. We were just in the garden.
We were in the garden.
Discussing what makes them passionate, why they love plants so much, and what draws them to that. And there's so many herbalists doing so much amazing stuff. But the first interview that I wanted to do is with Kirsten Hale right here, the Crazy Herbalist. You can visit her at thecrazyherbalist.com. Is that correct?
Crazyherbalist.com.
Cool. Thecrazyherbalist.com and on Instagram and on Facebook, and she is magnificent. And I love the way, Kirsten, that you have reclaimed the word crazy. I love that you've kind of embraced that, because it seems like that is, that seems to be what you're working with, is working with that trauma and working with people who are not, it's not the dominant mindset of what typical stuff is.
Yeah, we tend to demonize crazy, and crazy is actually totally necessary. Yeah, we're all actually a little crazy.
And the thing is, a lot of people will kind of claim the label crazy until it's like, oh, but it doesn't mean that I really have issues, which of course we all have issues.
We all have issues. Yeah,
So
totally.
yeah, own that crazy.
Yeah, power to the crazy.
So we're going to talk about things that you are passionate about things that kind of that you want to talk about. And I see that you have brought some plant friends with you.
Yeah.
And you want to introduce us to the plant friends you brought with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So here we have some lemon balm. Freshly picked. She smells amazing. I don't believe you. Yeah, okay. Smell. Yeah. Lemony, soft. Lemon balm will quickly sort of dry out and lose some of the aromatic potency after she's picked. So you definitely, if you want to make any medicine with lemon balm that's fresh, you want to work with her pretty quickly. The rosmarinic acid content in her leaves actually is pretty potent when she's dry, and that is what we're used to hearing about as something that helps the mind and memory processes. So dry leaves are great for a tea if that's what you have, but fresh lemon balm can be amazing, just taking the fresh leaves and sticking it in honey. We think about lemon balm classically as the rest and digest herb. She's part of the mint family. She's cooling and has that beautiful lemony smell. And so when you think about anyone who holds intense tension in their core, kind of like boobs to belly, I would say, lemon balm has a really wonderful way of reducing that tension and helping that relax. Really wonderful if you are carrying that tension here and it's anxiety driven. In my practice, I work with a lot of survivors and people who have had various traumas, and I particularly work with lemon balm as an ally for someone healing issues on maiden sexuality.
Oh.
Like those young, sort of those of us who never got to explore sexuality freely of our own will, but maybe it was that part of our lives was taken from us too young. And I find that she's incredibly playful and incredibly present to those younger parts of ourselves that still want to put on flowy music and dance around our kitchen and who still want to be kissed for the first time. And I think she brings some of that out in us. And she is used to being revered as sort of like a plant for the bees, Melissa officinalis. Right? So Melissa being honeybee. And there were priestesses that sort of ministered to lemon balm in ancient Greece, which is, she's from the Mediterranean region, as a lot of our medicinal Lamaceae family plants are. And so she's used to being sort of beloved, and the honeybees love her. And yeah, I think that's some of my favorite notes on lemon balm.
Oh, wonderful. You know, I love that idea of working with that young sexual trauma, because so many of us have experienced that, whether we are aware of it or not, whether we identify it as trauma. A lot of us were exposed to, we're victims of sexualization, of sexual trauma, of abuse, and don't call it that, don't name it that.
Yeah.
But it has so much informed and affected our own sexuality and sensuality and presence in our body. I love that you can have this plant. I see that I'm getting a little bit my
shoulder to shoulder,
shoulder to shoulder, and cheek to cheek.
Cheek to cheek. We're gonna start making out now for partners.
Us and the lemon balm. Yes.
Yeah.
So I love that. Thank you for that. That's just a beautiful, beautiful thing, and that's accessible and easy. And
well, you bring up a really good point, because a lot of the people that I tend to work with actually can really name those violations, but all of us who I would say have bodies with ovaries learned so early on that there was sort of the Madonna whore complex,
right.
And that even maybe in our early explorations of sexual encounters, that we might have felt the pressure to perform, or the pressure to live up to what we were taught how women are supposed to respond sexually.
Yes.
And I would say that that's actually true for people in male bodies as well, that they also have a pressure to perform as to, like, I'm supposed to be virile, I'm supposed to make a woman be like this, right? Or make my partner, regardless of gender. There's this pressure of performance on sexuality. And yeah, I would say lemon balm wants to say, like, no, cool out, find what feels good.
Yeah.
Find what inherently sort of makes you cool and juicy and supple.
Yeah.
Supple. That's very
Lovely.
supple, yeah.
So supple, yeah. So gorgeous, so sensual. Yay.
Yay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love being able to expand our awareness of and usage of plants. We get, so locked into this is how we, even those of us who are herbalists, who are used to being so, we celebrate the diversity of the plant. Nonetheless, we have our own stories about a plant.
Yeah.
I have stories about lemon balm, how I use and how I love lemon balm, and so I love hearing other stories about lemon balm. Hello. Tractor. I love hearing other stories about lemon balm, and that expands my usage and my story. Ooh, who is that stroking your cheek?
So this is one of lemon balm's friends. This is Peppermint. You can kind of see the square leaves, or how what are they?
Square stem?
Well, yeah, the square stem, but we alternate leaves?
Opposite.
Botany is not yes. Opposite leaves, yeah.
So opposite leaves, if we hold them up, you can see the leaves are paired and opposite.
Yeah.
And then they rotate by 90 degrees up that square stem.
Yeah. So they sort of make this square rotation. But yeah, so here we have peppermint in flower. Isn't that beautiful?
And we need smell-o-vision, because you need to smell this plant. She's just so
she
beautiful.
is amazing. Almost after we snipped off this little piece, you could suddenly smell the aromatics within like a foot of just this little sprig. They kind of popped out and said, like, oh, what are you doing to me? Here, let me protect myself. Let me give you some smell. But peppermint, super cooling, super wonderful. You see, we have two heated people here. Peppermint. We are hot. We're hot herbalists. That's the after show. That's the secret.
That one you have to pay for.
You do. Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah. That's how we make our real money.
That's right.
How herbalists offer sliding scale consultations is they do herb sex work afterwards. Okay. Oh, that just brought up so much in my mind right now.
Oh, right, with sex workers and
nettles and sex workers and like herbs for okay. So yeah. Anyways, peppermint, another incredible digestive ally. So amazing in tea. You should know, if you are new to studying herbs, that if you're going to make a tea out of anything fresh that you have pulled from your garden or something that you bought in one of the herb racks at the grocery stores, that you really want to chop those herbs up, because when you make a tea out of them, their cell walls, since they're fresh, will still hold on to that medicine that you're trying to get out. Dried teas, those cells have already cracked and will release their constituents into the water. But if you're going to grab peppermint like this, you'd really want to give it a nice good chopping.
Fucking cellulose, man.
Fucking cellulose, man. Yeah. I mean, it has its place.
Yes.
But it's really oppressive to those of us for poops. Yeah.
Yay, cellulose for poops. But fucking cellulose for getting out the constituents.
Right, yeah. So fresh teas from fresh herbs, you want to definitely chop up and make sure that you give them a good chopping. Put in the water. Cover. Peppermint. A lot of the medicinal actions are going to come from the soothing oils, those cooling oils that we're used to chewing in gum, things like that we're used to with peppermint. You want to put a lid over if you're going to make some tea out of it. I'm sorry, I'm like holding it like...
That is totally okay.
Kind of like picking your nose.
Picking my nose. Yeah. Access. Yeah.
Put some cellulose
It's all
up
about
there.
consent. I consent to having peppermint in my nose.
It is all about consent. And so you do actually want to ask Peppermint, hey, can I cut you today? Because I'm going to chop you up. And Peppermint will usually say yes, because she's very giving. So yeah, think about post meals that you feel sort of hot and groggy and farty. Peppermint's a super wonderful ally for that. But again, anything in the Lamaceae family, you're going to get incredible restorative benefits for the mind, for the digestive system, potent antioxidant powers. They're just super powers. They're easy to grow. And so many herbs are so expensive, right? To go to the store and buy pre-made tinctures, you can grow things like this in your own home, in a bucket outside of your apartment, and get lots of medicine out of it.
Oh, so much abundance there.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
How's that? Yeah.
That's good. Hey, would you talk a little bit about, so we tend to think about peppermint for being for digestion. And the contraindications for use of peppermint for digestion.
Teacher puts student on the spot. Okay. Okay, let me think this through. So, peppermint can relax the muscles in the esophagus, which is beautiful, right? If you have GERD, if you have acid reflux, that can then allow further acid up into the esophageal tissues. Am I going the right direction?
You're absolutely, yeah, yes. Yeah. A+ for the student. And so that's really important, because we tend to, especially for beginning herbalists, tend to kind of think peppermint is the herb for digestion. And yes, it's really good for digestion, but in that one condition, you really don't, it's going to exacerbate, that's going to make it worse. And that's for peppermint gum, for curiously strong things. Man, they're doing all of this work. Super gum.
Yeah, so contraindicated when there's that acid condition, acid reflux condition, and super indicated if what you're actually experiencing is like crampiness in the stomach and in the upper intestine, because it will smooth those muscles and allow some of the gas to pass through to calm that down.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that you chose all these super happy making plants. They're just totally uplifting, and that lemon balm is fabulous in there, by the way.
I'm working on my maiden sexuality.
All right, well, thank you for introducing us to those plants. Is there anything else that you want to talk? Oh, can you talk a little bit about, you are doing a series on adrenal response, and I know this is a passion of yours right now. It's like, and we're not going to go on for another hour and a half while you go on about the adrenals, but I do want to just kind of talk about that a little bit, because I know that is something that really, really is speaking to you right now. Can you give just a little bit of some information on that?
Yeah, okay, so here's what I would want you to know if you're somebody who has been fearful about adrenal fatigue. Or about how do I care for my adrenals and still show up to my life and not end up with all of the symptoms of fatigue and hormonal dysregulation and high cortisol, low cortisol, all of that stuff, is what I would want you to know is that the adrenals respond. Their job really in our bodies is to respond to the demands that we're placing on them. So our gut nervous system, our heart system, and our brain all sort of tell our adrenals about the state of how we feel, about how we can show up in the world. They tell us about what we're perceiving, or these systems tell the adrenals about how we're showing up in the world, and then the adrenals will respond to sort of what we ask them to do. So if we're sort of rigid in living up to stories that say that we have to be perfect every day, or that we have to, or if we're fighting for our survival every day, then the adrenals are really going to do their best they can to respond to those demands. And what I want you to know is that we're actually designed to be in a state of presence and of sort of ability to respond to multiple demands, but that physiologically we rest, and returning to a state of feeling good about who you are and about what you can do in your daily life is really, really one of the most restorative actions you can offer your adrenals. And so that story that our bodies are machines and that we're designed to the brain is designed to sort of tell the body what to do is a really bad capitalist, patriarchal, monotheistic, white supremacist story. And I want you to feel free to sort of start chucking pieces of that out that don't work for you. And your adrenals will notice when you do that, and they'll help respond.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, I love you.
Yeah. Power. I know. I could actually, blah, blah, blah.
I know. So much.
And drink holy basil tea, another mint family. Drink some holy basil. Okay.
So then, fuck the patriarchy, drink holy basil, nibble on
your
ears.
mint family plants, and embrace all of the parts of yourself that are part of your story and not the story that's been given to you. And I want to say that that's actually a Lemaisier type thing, right? Think rosemary. They're all sort of like, I'm going to grow, I'm going to take over your shit, and I'm going to be who I am. That's kind of a mint thing to do, actually. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, good. Thank you so much. So, because you just mentioned that, I'm going to finish this off by saying I really invite you to go to the crazyherbalist.com and read her essay, her very long essay. Get a cup of tea and chill and hang out for a little while because you're going to be there for a while. Read about what Kirsten has to say about rosemary because it's I can't say one of my favorite things you've written because I have so many things. Why you write something and I go, oh, this is my favorite thing, and then you write something else and I go, oh no, this is my new favorite thing. But that's way up there, and it's really lovely for people who want to kind of engage with rosemary.
Crazyherbalist.com.
There you go. Thank you. All right. Okay. Thank you, Kirsten, for being my first. And
we talked about maiden sexuality.
And we talked about maiden sexuality.
We bust your shoulder to shoulder.
Yes.
That was your first shoulder to shoulder.
My shoulder hymen.
Your shoulder hymen.
So thank you, and people come to see Kirsten teaching wherever she's teaching, and online. She's teaching online and writing. Lots of writing going on right now.
And also Green Wisdom Herbal Studies, which is Julie's School of Herbalism. I cannot recommend that highly. If you're in the Southern California area, even for one time that she's teaching, completely recommend dropping in on one of her classes and getting to know Julie, and then following all of the sort of online stuff that she's going to have to be offering. And she teaches at Traditions of Western Herbalism Conference. She'll be there next September, and that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. So
we're good marketers.
We are such good marketers, see? And we're good with technology, marketing and technology.
So good.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you appreciated this. Leave some comments if you like about what you'd like to see more of, what you liked. We don't want to hear what you didn't like. We're not really interested in that. So really just how fabulous we were.
Yeah.
And
email your negative comments to idon'tcare@gmail.com.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much. We will be seeing you online. Bye-bye.
Bye.